not like I'm allowed to be there.
How does Brad? Oh wait, what's the connection between Brad and Chuck?
So my daughter and his daughter are high school buddies.
Oh, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Louisville, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, world, we love it.
For those of you joining us on LouisvilleAnswers.com, you're getting some insight into the Louisville connections here on our radio show. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a few. Shoot, they've been friends about forever now, haven't they?
Pretty much since about I don't know, 2000.
Yeah, somewhere. Well, no,
little later than that. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was middle school and
05. Somewhere in there. I don't remember. Time flies.
I just know they used to make cupcakes all the time together, and I would get to enjoy the benefit.
Well, Ashley was over making fluffy cake with Haley this weekend. So.
Oh, really? So
they're
Ashley
still at it.
In town.
Yep, it's been here several months.
Chuck, did you get the email I sent you? And Brad, did you get the email I sent you? With regards
I did.
Questions
yes, sir.
We got a lot of stuff going on. So, all right, let's get to it. This love fest we can put on hold for now. All right. All righty then. And by the way, Chip and Joanna Gaines are making an appearance on our show a little later. I mean, not in person, but you'll see. All right. Here we go. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you up till the top of the hour. And here with us for this show, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Also, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. You can reach them at their fairly new number, 844-411-TEAM. My son, Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and most recently, looking under our truck to find out what happened to our catalytic converter, is joining us as well. Thank you all, gentlemen, for being here.
Good morning.
Yep. I kind of gave away, interesting, we got hit our moving truck, which we give to all of our clients, well, at least up until this past week, to use free of charge. The truck's catalytic converter was ripped off, or I should say stolen. Don't we want? Anyway. So we're working on that. So there'll be a delay for our clients for the next couple of days or weeks until we get that catalytic converter back or attached. The question is, what happens? What do you do once you've replaced it? How do you prevent it from happening again? And we're thinking video cameras trained on the truck with movement. What, Greg?
I was saying, get somebody that's good at welding to get in there and try to create a secondary third roll cage around there to
that might be
that puppy in place.
Yeah, we got feedback coming back. You're in the car right now, heading back from some work we got going. So, all right, let's move right into this because we got a lot of stuff going on and we got questions coming in. This is one of our COVID shows. It has been for the past year. We're doing it from our homes, our offices, and Brad's location today is not even in the state because he's on assignment. Where are you? Do you want to
little further south? I'm in Central Florida.
Okay, good. This is a family trip.
Yeah. At my dad's house.
Good. You broke up there. You're at your dad's house, Central Florida, and you'll be isolating when you come back as per CDC guidelines.
We are. We have shots in us.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. So we're quarantining together down here. Don't get involved with anyone else in Florida. Got to stay away from them. But.
Love it. Yep. We got to get those shots out. All right. So let's start with a question. So my point in telling you all this about our COVID show is that we're doing it via Zoom. We record it on Zoom. We rebroadcast it to YouTube, and you can go to our YouTube broadcast by typing in LouisvilleAnswers.com, and that will take you to all of our shows, including this one, if you want to see a replay of the show. Now, this. So the reason we're telling you that is because we're taking our questions via email instead of phone calls because we're limited on production ability while we're in the COVID mode. So, Chuck, this one comes in received from a listener who has a rental property. Apparently, last year, the renter showed a tax return indicating their income was above $10,000 a month. The caller rented the home to the person. So, let's call him Bill. I don't know who the person's name is, but Bill rented the home to the person. After COVID hit, the renter stopped paying. And so the owner took the renter to court. Of course, we're dealing with the COVID guidelines, and was claiming, the renter, that her income had been cut or eliminated. The owner suspects the renter is using COVID as an excuse not to pay. What options does this bill, if that's the name, and or any other home owner who's got it rented have at this point with COVID?
Well, at this point, I think what you're going at is the CDC moratorium, where if you state that your income has been affected and you can't pay and you're doing the best you can to try and make partial payments, that keeps the eviction for lack of payment in check. However, that runs out at the end of this month. Yeah. So what everybody's doing is if they have a situation like that, they're going ahead and they're filing the action. It's going to get kicked automatically no earlier than April 7, which is past the date of the moratorium. And then it just falls under the normal scenario, which is still kind of messed up, but is along the lines of if it's any kind of a CARES Act mortgage, federal backed mortgage or anything like that, you have to give them a 30-day notice before you can evict for non-payment. If it's just straight up cash, don't have any mortgage on it, then you can do the normal 7-day letter. But then once you get in court, there's a bunch of governmental entities to whom you can apply for funds, and they'll go back, I think, all the way to April for back rent, and then forward 3 months. And if they do that, then you have to indicate that you're going to take the money and go by a different set of timelines, but you get your money. So that's a good thing. And if they don't apply to that, then it just moves on as the court moves on.
Do all homeowners or property owners who own property, rental property, know about being able to take them to court at this point and get caught up, or at least get some money in advance?
Well, I don't know what they know or don't know. I just know it's out there.
Okay.
If you call one of the attorneys here in town that do evictions, they're up on it. It is a nightmare doing the Zoom calls and waiting in the room, and I've heard horror stories about how the paperwork will send you to one waiting room on Zoom when it's actually in a separate waiting room. But
Right.
it's getting done. But it is definitely put the landlord even further behind the 8 ball than they were originally.
Yeah, and if you want more information from Chuck, we'll be giving out his phone number in a little bit. You can reach out to him, and I'm sure he'll be able to help you. By the way, if you want to see what the sellers are saying about us as a real estate team, because we are desperately looking for homes to list and sell, we had a number of homes go on the market this past week. We're starting to see a lot of potential sellers come out of the woodwork, so to speak, to want to get their home on the market. But you can reach me anytime at 376-5483. And on your computer, go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com to see what they're saying about us. So here comes my phone again. Already know you're going to have to wait until after the show. And then you could also go to LouisvilleZillow.com as another way to learn about what people are doing and saying about us to get our reviews. Some news, making news in our area. A Louisville home builder is proposing a new Louisville area subdivision. This is good news because as we need a lot of homes to make up the surplus that's really missing, an emerging home builder in Louisville is constructing its first Shelby County development and has provided more details on an East Louisville project that it has in the works. This is coming from Business First this past week. Indianapolis-based Arbor Homes said on this past Tuesday that it is constructing. By the way, Greg, I'm hearing myself back at. I need to mute yourself. Indianapolis-based Arbor Homes is said on Tuesday that it's constructing 358 homes on Old Heritage neighborhood in Shelby County. So that is some good news making its way. On a bad news note, mortgage rates are starting to rise again, as we mentioned the past couple of weeks, 3%. And then 3.02% this past week. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in the real estate world. More coming up on that a little bit later. Back to the questions that we have coming in. You can reach me with questions on email, bob@WeSellLouisville.com. Brad, Sammy is asking, what is a GFCI outlet? He said he's selling his home. He was told his GFCI outlets are not working. How would you describe the need for those?
Okay, well, what a GFCI outlet is it is an outlet that protects the person from shock in case the ground faults. Literally, it decides to take a different path. So these GFC outlets have been common on exteriors of homes and in bathrooms and garages since the 70s, but their use expanded into kitchens, and crawl spaces and basements and anywhere that you have any potential for contact with water. What this is these are those outlets that have the test buttons on them. Typically they're red and black, or they'll say, you'll have a button that says test, and you'll have another button that says reset. You're going to find them though near a sink. You're going to find them anywhere that you could have water. But what they do is they protect the person from an extended shock. If by chance the wiring is faulty and say they're using a blow dryer in a bathroom, they contact water, and rather than the electricity flowing through the person looking for the ground to go back to the station where the power is generated, there's a sensor inside the GFCI that will trigger it and cut the power off immediately. So there may be a small shock to the person, but it's not an extensive one. So if they're not working, if you punch the test button and you're unable to reset it, then it just simply needs to be replaced. These are relatively simple to replace. A homeowner or a handyman can do it if they're in line, if they're at the end of a line, or they're part of another loop circuit, then you probably want an electrician to come out and take a look. But GFCI, the outlet itself, is probably less than $20 at your local hardware store. Relatively straightforward to put in. There's also another product called an arc fault. These we find in bedrooms of new homes. Arc faults are to prevent fires from happening. Particularly, back in the 70s and 80s when kids' pajamas were found to be somewhat flammable, arc fault came in. So those arc faults typically you're going to find actually in the electrical panel. GFCIs you're typically going to find there at the outlet itself. So they're a little bit different. GFCI protects the person, arc fault protects the property from a fire hazard.
But not all homes have to have a GFCI. If it was built before what year?
Well, but they started in the early 70s, I think 75, 76 for bathrooms. But there's always going to be a safety recommendation that they be converted to ground fault. And again, it's very simple. The outlets themselves are inexpensive. Home inspectors are going to write those up. If there is a outlet within 6 feet of a sink, we're going to note on there that's a safety defect, a safety hazard. But it's, again, straightforward fix.
But I should point out that if we as listing agents get a repair request that includes GFCI and the house was built prior to the code going into effect, we would respond that would be considered an upgrade. And that the seller would be willing to do that, but it's going to be at the buyer's expense. So that would be a legitimate response. I should point out that this also makes an important point for homeowners who are going to sell, having a pre-inspection done, because if Brad and his team or any home inspector finds that there's a GFCI that's not working, or that maybe you want to put one in an area, they'll point that out. You can do it yourself, as he pointed out, and it would cost you a whole lot less. I think they're about $13 at the big box stores, right?
Yeah, the brand name ones are less than 20 for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you can do that yourself. Otherwise, I've seen electricians charge as much as $75 per change out of a GFCI. So it's worth it to get the inspection to know what you're up against and to do the things yourself, which brings us to next week's subject on the show: how to prepare your house for a winning sale this coming spring. That's next week. All right, Chuck, I've got this question. This is actually was just told to me a couple of days ago. It didn't come in the form of an email, so excuse me if I bumble this one a little bit, but Jamie apparently sold her condo. The condo did not have water problems in the yard in the rear. Now, apparently, it does have water problems in the rear. The buyers are coming after Jamie. They want to take her to court and or possibly sue her and skip mediation and go directly to arbitration. Any thoughts for anybody who encounters a problem where they've sold a house and a buyer wants to go after the seller for something the seller says they had no knowledge of prior to selling?
Well, again, it's what did you know? What should you have reasonably known? So it's kind of hard to prove a negative. I can't prove what I didn't know.
Okay.
You have to, if you're the one coming after me, you've got to prove that I did. So it's not anything you can really defend against. You, like I said, I've always said, you can sue anybody for anything. The question is, will you win on it?
Mhm.
Now, with the mediation arbitration clause, that's in the contract. They've got to go through that unless it's for less money than what the limit of small claims court is. So we're talking about less than $2,500.
Yeah, apparently they don't want to, what I've been told is they don't want to do small claims. They want to go to arbitration, but more importantly, the homeowner association is supposed to take action, and they're the ones who are responsible for the rear yard, yet they haven't responded. So the buyers are going after the former owner.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a winning combination to me. If it's an HOA item, okay, and I don't know if it is or isn't, because HOAs can be different along those lines, and different HOA boards can have a different interpretation of what a limited common element is. But when it comes right down to it, if you try and go after somebody for an HOA issue, well, that's going to fall on the HOA. They're going to get brought into it one way or another. If the buyer doesn't bring them in, well, the seller sure will.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to deal with it at some point. And then you just have to argue back and forth. Is it an HOA issue? Is it not an HOA issue?
Got it. So they may get brought in, the seller, but it may end up being an HOA issue problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who ends up paying the fees for that at that point? Does the seller pay a fee or no?
Well, it depends on, if it looks like something was brought without any justification, it's gonna, there's a chance that the person who brought it without justification will have to foot the bill for everything.
Okay, good to know. We're going to take a break. We come back. Some information coming up about Chip and Joanna Gaines. Yeah, they're back, but they're also trying a controversial move. We'll tell you about that. The phone number for Chuck Crosby, who you've been hearing talk about a variety of things, to talk to him in person, because I will tell you, he does a lot of work, including great closings. You can reach him at 499-6360. Also, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, at 844-411-TEAM. And they come in as a team. They're veterans for the most part, and they do an incredible job. They're the number one home team inspection service for the 6th year in a row here in the United States. So we thank them. Also, my son Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And you can reach me anytime at 376-5483. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS. Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show. We're here with you till the top of the hour. Of course, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, is with us. 844-411-TEAM. And then also Chuck Crosby, Crosby Law Offices. Does great closings. 499-6360. My son Greg, who does our marketing, our photography, and so much more. And he's been busy trying to get replacements for our catalytic converter on our moving truck, which was unceremoniously removed in the middle of the night, apparently, the past week or so. And you can reach me, Bob Sokoler, 376-5483. Everyone's pretty much familiar with Chip and Joanna Gaines. They are back on TV, and they have plenty of home trends. They've seen them come and go. They're part of it. They do it. Latest episode of their new show, Fixer Upper Welcome Home. They highlight one particular upgrade that, in Chip's words, is downright controversial. In the episode, and I think it's on one of the new networks. I
think it's Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus. Yeah.
One of the pluses.
The pluses that are out there. In the new episode, Planting Roots in Waco, Chip and Joan, you're going to appreciate this, Greg, are aiming to remodel the home of one of their employees, John, who moved from New York City to Waco, Texas. Boy, is that a culture shock, in order to work with this famous couple. Now he's decided to settle down. He bought a Texas home, which he has paid whatever the dollar was. He's got a $75,000 renovation budget. But here's the controversial part. When they saw the home, they were impressed, Chip and Joanna, and they were thinking about painting the old brick white. John wanted that. So for all of us here in Louisville, and this includes me, because when I bought the house that I'm in currently now, I was considering painting it, whether it was white or a gray or whatever color. And then I started thinking about it. And for everyone who's thinking about painting their home, think about this. Now, it gives you a little more insulation, Brad. I think it gives you a little bit more, not
I-
much. No,
No, I don't think
okay,
so.
not okay. But it can really deter from buyers purchasing because they want the brick. They want that established looking brick feel. And that's what Chip and Joanna actually advised John. They said, don't do it because we'll make it look good. But if you paint it, you actually lose value. So my suggestion to all of you who potentially might want to paint your home, because I had that same feeling at one point, don't, because you'll lose value in it. All right. Back to the questions that we've got coming in. Bob at WeSellLouisville.com to get your questions to us. By the way, I would normally say if you're one of our clients, we would loan you out our moving truck, which is right now in need of catalytic converters. So we're waiting to get that in.
So if you know where to get one, give Bob a call, because apparently he passive aggressively asked me to look for him, and I'm not sure where to find him either.
No, we've already made some calls. We called 4 dealerships. We're just trying to find out.
It's a moving truck. It's tough. We'll get it fixed.
I was going to say, according to Brad, don't all I need is a hacksaw and a skateboard?
Sounds like it. Yeah.
And find another truck that looks like ours and get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. I can just see
They're a dime a dozen.
Getting written up in the headlines. This is coming in for Chuck. Johnny fell in love with a home on the south side of Louisville and moving forward with buying it. They're scheduled to close last week, he and his wife, but while riding past the house a couple of days ago, they realized that some of the neighbors have cars and trucks in the yard, and they're not so thrilled with that yard. Now, I've seen that. I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Can they back out of the contract?
Not for that.
Yeah.
Not at this point, no.
What would you as an attorney advise Johnny in terms of what he faces if he decides not to attend the closing?
Okay. Well, there's a couple of different things that can happen. First off, if you've got this thing going and you just walk away as a buyer, first off, you're going to be responsible for damages. What are damages? Well, between you and the seller's going to go ahead and sell the property again. If it sells for less than the difference between your price and the next price, assuming that, there's no hanky-panky going on, the difference between the new price and the old price is damage, and that's what they can go after. Secondly, if I were a realtor, I would strongly think about my damages and going after them for commission. And there's always the ever popular hey, we'll sue you to perform, but that's not going to work. I can't say as I've seen that happen on a residential property in ever for that.
Yeah.
But it's the damages that you're going to be looking at, and they can get extensive.
And by that you mean commissions,
Commissions,
difference in price,
and the difference in price.
And any other, even attorney
Right.
fees, maybe. Not so much.
You've got to agree to pay attorney's fees for you to be able to collect them, or you have to act egregiously, like we were talking about before. If I have no claim and I bring it, it's a possibility you can get some fees out of that. But in this market, you just never know. I mean, the next people that come along may, really lowball the thing.
Yeah. And you're on the hook, as Johnny B alerted to that.
All right, but definitely commission. That is, in my mind, where the biggest pain would probably be felt.
Let's move forward. There's an appliance shortage. I'm not sure if any of you heard about this. Greg, you didn't have any delays in the house that you built with appliances.
Yeah, we were on top, but we're seeing a lot of that here in this neck of the woods with the new construction and furniture as well.
Yeah, homeowners have been rushing to remodel and build, as well as wash during the pandemic. That's taken a toll on an appliance availability. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, and many other household appliances are in common demand and in short supply. In fact, nearly 90% of home builders are reporting having trouble getting appliances for their new homes. Hence the question that goes to, I guess, Brad, coming off of our email. Uh, Sophia is getting ready to buy her first home, and she wants to make sure she has her budget zeroed in. And so she's thinking about new appliances if she can find them, as based on what we just told you. So things like washer and dryer, refrigerator, dishwasher, and other things, how long will they last? What's the average lifespan for those?
So on the washers and dryers, we always say that they're going to be about 15 years for those with normal usage. You're certainly going to find plenty that are significantly older than that. A refrigerator, most of them, and there's some models that are a little different than others, but a refrigerator should be, roughly 10, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Dishwasher, probably 8 to 10. Stove, it's going to probably be in that 15-year range. So, she can probably take those, a little bit at a time. Add an appliance here and an appliance there as she's able, but she probably ought to target the oldest appliances, the ones that are most frequently used, and the refrigerators are the ones that are commonly replaced sooner, just because there's a bigger risk if they fail of losing something versus, your washer that goes out and you can't run a load of clothes. You don't lose, hundreds of dollars worth of meat and produce.
Yeah, and just taking effect what we just mentioned, this delay, to build in some pad time to order ahead of time, so you're not stressed out waiting for it to arrive, the items to arrive. And on that note, one other question for Chuck Crosby. This is coming from Ed, who is buying a house and told his agent that the washer and dryer are mine, since they are attached to the home via hose and electrical cord. The agent says they're not included. So Ed says, well, because that's attached by an electrical cord and a hose, the washer and dryer, this is kind of our washer and dryer segment, the washer and dryer stay with the house. He wants them, and the seller doesn't want to sell them or doesn't want to give them to the buyer. On your terms legally at this point, Chuck, who's right?
Probably been giving me easy questions, quick
Okay,
one-word answers. He's
Slam
wrong.
dunks.
He's just wrong.
Yep.
Wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just
Okay.
wrong.
I wanted to give him the wrong.
Wrong.
So, and explain it if you would, Chuck. So even though it's
Well,
attached
a
by an
fixture,
electrical,
a fixture stays. A fixture stays. That's something that's permanently affixed. Think
Okay.
screw, something of that nature.
Into the wall, not a hose bib that's
Yeah,
screwed.
yeah,
Not a
yeah.
You can
That's
detach
something
it and
that's
not leave
permanently
damage.
affixed. That's not even close.
all right, let me play.
Not to mention your contract mentions that sort of thing.
Okay. I'll play
yeah,
devil's advocate. So a mirror in a bathroom that's screwed to the wall, it's just a screw. And you could,
that's a fixture. You take that away and there's holes.
Nothing there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a fixture.
One quick PSA on that. Remember too, on electric dryers, all of the pigtails are different. So when you go to buy a new dryer, make sure you know what type of pigtail you need for the outlet that you have there. The hardware store will sell you the right pigtail. You just need to know which one to get when you buy that new dryer.
I think you're talking about the electrical outlet that the dryer
the
plugs
plug,
into.
the pigtail that plugs it, the plug that pigtails onto the end.
That's a really good point. So what I would suggest then is take a picture of the socket that it's going to go into.
Yes.
So you can show the person at the store, hey, this is what it looks like, and I want to get this one. Yeah.
Save yourself a trip.
Oh boy, no kidding. All right, we are out of time, but we had a lot of questions. In Chuck's terminology, easy questions. Well, I would much rather have easy questions than tough ones. My thanks to Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 844-411-TEAM. My son Greg, who does a marketing photography and catalytic converter finding, maybe. And you can reach me anytime, day or night, because we really do need homes to list and sell. And you can reach me on my cell phone, 376-5483. We are out of time. Thank you all for being here. See you next Sunday right here on News Radio 840 WHAS. All right.
Hey, Bob, do you, I mean, I've got a friend who can hunt down parts. Are you really having a difficult time finding parts?
This just actually happened like half an hour.
Yeah,
ago.
that was just some show banter. I was just giving him hell.
Okay.
That we I mean, he made some phone calls, but I'm not sure if
I don't know that we're going to see anything return from that. So
if you got a guy, it's I guess there's not many people that work on E3 or E250s in Louisville that can easily handle that.
Well, he does a junkyard. He's a junkyard and a finding part person.
And I mean, that is kind of a junkyard part, right? It's not like we need something brand new.
No, how old's that truck?
Up 20 years.
Probably.
Yeah, get a junk.
14 years.
Yeah, get a junkyard part. You'll be fine. Seriously, and I would call Reddens mobile maintenance as one.
Hang on, Reddens mobile.
Reddens. They would be one to talk to. Let me get another name for you, Bob, because I think the guy that bought it changed the name of the company. But there's another.
Just text me with it. Yeah.
I will. I'll text you another name of a guy, and I'll get you a couple options to do that.
By the way, did you hear about this? I didn't make it on the radio show because we didn't have enough time. We had too many questions. But two things that didn't make it: a real estate agent living in Brooklyn, New York, is now out of work after telling an Asian gym manager to go back to China. The incident caught on video occurred at the Blink Fitness outlet in the Bushwick neighborhood. I don't know if you know this one, Greg. The video went viral on social media, shows the real estate agent allegedly refusing to wear a mask inside the gym and telling the gym manager to go back to China.
Probably not something you want to put on the radio, but listen, freedom of speech only covers you in your personal life so much, not so much in the business world. You do something stupid, that's on you.
Speech covers you between yourself and the government.
Right.
Yeah. And then
I can completely discriminate against you for anything you say.
15-year-old was accused of killing a South Florida real estate agent. And it was in Fort Lauderdale, which is where my sister has a condo. 15-year-old boy goes up to this agent, puts a gun in his face, basically forces him to drive to an ATM, withdraw money, and then kills the real estate agent, 37-year-old Stefano Barboza.
Yeah, what is it? I had read that if somebody puts a gun to you and tells you get in the car and do whatever, your chances of surviving are way better if you just start running.
Right.
Chances are it's a crappy shot, and but if you get in a car,
you're in close proximity.
Yeah. Well, not just that, you don't get out of the car.
So do you when you're running, do you serpentine back and forth?
Absolutely, dodging, bob and weave.
Yeah.
What's that TV show?
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Duck, dive, dodging. Dodgeball.
All right, guys. Thank you all. I'll see you. Our next shows with you guys are in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
We may be doing 2 shows. I'll let you know. I'm heading now. Make note of this, Greg. On the 8th of what is it? The 8th of April. Going down to Jamaica, man. I'll have my second shot.
Oh, Jamaica. Where are you going?
With 2 locations. One's Hyatt for 3 days, and then going to Sandals down there for a week. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you ought to, if you haven't locked into Sandals, you ought to look at Couples. Couples has a really nice facility down in Ocho Rios, and it's where some of Dr. No was filmed. Yeah, James Bond actually, the cast and crew stayed at this particular facility. It's really great.
So how far is that from whatever Jamaica?
The airport?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a 2-hour drive. Pretty much anything is.
Oh, well, that's a long way. We're only about 10 minutes at the worst out of the airport. So
yeah, the places get better the further away you go.
That's true. Okay, Couples, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Couples.
Right.
Just look at it.
I'll tell
Couples
Michelle
San
about
Souci is my favorite place.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there, buddy boys. We will. We'll talk to you. Take care. Stay safe, Brad. Good luck and careful driving back.
Yeah, thanks so much, and congratulations, Chuck.
Thanks.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Have you seen the baby yet, Chuck?
I have.
Oh, good for you. That was good. All right, good.
Yeah,
And have you gotten your shot already? The first one,
I have.
Good. All right. Glad to hear. All right.
Yeah,
Okie dokie.
close.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right,
See
All
ya.
right,
see y'all.
see you later.
Alrighty. Bye bye.